Now we're used to images of Darfur in Sudan and Cox's Bazar in Bangladesh, and we have a certain idea of what refugee camps look like. This is not that. This is completely different because this could be a small village in some part of the world. We have communities, we have sub-communities, we have their homes, we have their little compounds for each house, and it's quite beautiful to see how they've sort of tried to create a home away from home. The other thing that hits you is how everyday things have become. So you think that just because people have moved away, people have shifted here, you think things will be different, but the reality is that they find their daily routines. They've got to. You see their water points, you see how they're going to get their food, how they're getting their kids to school, and so on and so forth. And those hi, how are you? And those realities have to come together in a quick routine. And those routines set in fairly quickly, and so this becomes the new life. A life that they didn't sign up for, but a life that they now are living. When they left South Sudan, they walked for 2 days, which included time on a boat, some time on a bus, and they got here. And you'd think that things are going to be considerably different, and they probably were. But what is important to remember is that with gender roles clearly set in, the girls took to kitchens, the boys took to gathering firewood, building the homes. And then the routines of work, school, and home sort of start setting in. Now these routines, while they might sort of make things look stable, they're anything but stable. Movement is restricted, security is heightened. So for instance, this is Sammy, and his script for one of the films we wanted to make today started with, we open at a sunrise. Of course not, because we were waiting for the convoy to leave at 8:45 a.m. The sun's already up in the sky, scorching heat. And then you might say, well, for photographers and videographers, you still have the golden hour in the evening. Nope, of course not, because the convoy leaves again at 4 and we live a long way from here. And that means, because the convoy is not going to wait for anyone, we've got to be there by 4. So no golden hour there as well. So the short list is not dictated by my dear friend here. The short list is dictated by the security team. Does this coffee have ginger?
Yes.
I think
It's ginger.
wow. I just dragged Meklit out from a nutrition center where she was actually quite busy because I wanted to ask a couple of questions and hear from her. The work that they're doing with pregnant lactating mothers and children under the age of 5, especially in the context of nutrition, is amazing. How many are we hoping to impact this year, Meklit?
Almost 19,000.
Wow, 19,000. And that's not just food. That's the difference between recovery and decline. That's the difference between what's happening today and what we can change for tomorrow. On a side note, this isn't just the communities that we serve who've uprooted their families. Many of the staff that you see around me, they are away from their families as well because they have a calling to serve the most vulnerable children here. And it's amazing because they've had to leave their families elsewhere because the children won't have schools here, their spouses won't find employment here. And those are the difficult choices that our staff live with. And every time I meet them, I'm amazed and humbled by that. As storytellers, that's the tension that we sort of have to balance out, because places like this often get reduced to resilience or hope or whatever is the latest trending buzzword in the humanitarian and development circles. But the reality is it's not one or the other, it's a spectrum, and it's all of it all of the time. Now, as you watch this 360, I hope you got to choose what you wanted to focus on. I hope you got to choose what narrative you wanted to see. But the reality is that you got to choose.